Hey everyone, welcome to Bite Size Tea. So today's video I'm going to be discussing Prince Harry and his court case and the two things that have come up. That is with him being ushered out because of security issues, and also the I've been forced out of the royal family. So I'm going to be discussing those. If this is a type of video for you, my name is Ems, I'm a qualified UK therapist. And so with over 20 years experience, I use those tips to help you get a better understanding and especially in narcissism, body language and behaviour. So that being said, if you want to join me on this venture, come join the community that we're building here. Let's get me to the first 5k subscribers. If you want longer videos, head across to my TNT channel. That is at the end of this channel. You can click on the link. But yeah, let's get to what you're here for. So grab your cuppa and let's dive right in. Let's start with Harry. This man-child, because I'm not going to say that he is a grown man because he doesn't act like one. And there is a massive difference between what is factually true. So factually, Harry is an adult. He's 40 years old? He is an adult male. However, within his emotional maturity and his behaviour, he is not. He is very, very immature, incredibly spoilt and egotistical, in my opinion. And this is being shown again within his court case, because what we've got now are two things. One, that he was ushered out of the court due to one person saying, "We support you, Harry." Suddenly, to him, that's a security threat. But interestingly enough, that person is also known to be someone that's connected to them. And here is the picture. And so I believe that this was planted. I truly believe that Harry, in his attempts to act as if he's under threat in the UK and he's scared of his safety, he's scared for his wife and his, well, I'm not even going to say his children because you know my thoughts on that. But this is what he's telling us. However, one, he's happy to come to the UK even when he's not needed, like this court case. He didn't need to be there, but he chose to come. Secondly, it also states that he came in secretly. So he could have gone in also through the back door, but he doesn't. He chose to go through the front because obviously he knows he wants the mainstream media to see him turning up. And of course, his father and Queen Camilla are away at the moment in Italy, and it is very well known that other royals do not try to do anything to upstage if there's an event or something that's happening with the other working royals. Harry knows this. He's been in this for a long time. He understands this. Just because he's out doesn't mean to say that that memory has gone. He knew, he would know, even though he's not in contact, he would know this is what his father and his mother-in-law are doing. So to me, for him to turn up, this shows that he knows this is going to get in the mainstream media. So this, to me, was a childish attempt at attention grabbing and to try to deflect away from his dad. And so this again shows his emotional immaturity. But so yes, so he was ushered out, but this person's connected to him. So I truly believe that these things are put into, as a plant, because again, if anyone is using their brain, they would realise that, like I say, he's happy to come over here, and conveniently he seems to be over here when it's coming to the time that I believe is the real boy's birthday. So I think he comes over here to see him. Now, that's just my theory, allegedly, but this is what I think, because I do believe that the child is here. The other thing as well is that he went to Colombia and he took Meghan, and that's one of the most dangerous countries in the world. But he was happy to do that with the security that he had. He didn't have the security that he would have as a working royal. So, but obviously he was given security by the Colombia government, I believe. But still, it's not quite the same. And he was happy to do that. He didn't have to do it, but he did it. So this is never about him and his safety. I'm sorry, it's not, because there has not been one incident, even when she was here, there was not one incident where her safety was under threat. When you have the actual king and queen going around quite happily, no issues whatsoever. We have the heirs to the throne going around with their children, no threats whatsoever. That's absolutely fine. Living a normal life in a sense, taking their children to school. We've had pictures and videos of them on holiday happily. And I'm not saying they don't have security. I'm sure they do, but it shows you that they're able to go places. They're able to be here in the UK, and they're able to live a pretty much normal existence as much as they can do for being part of the royal family. So this is BS, in my opinion. This is Harry wanting IPP status. And we know, or we believe, we know why Harry wants IPP status is because then he almost becomes untouchable. This man and his wife do not want any more scrutiny into what they're doing. When you have rumours coming out of bullying, harassment, racism, charity investigations, plus the fact and I've said this till I'm blue in the face, that there are issues where in regards to those children, though they are lying about the children. Now, I'll get to that bit in a minute. So this is what I think in regards to Harry. I think that this is an absolutely farcical event that happened in the court. I think this was planted. But the fact that they planted someone that supports Harry, but also it's like that's not about Harry's security. That's perhaps the security of the court itself. It's like if the main public wasn't allowed in, how did this person get in? Unless it was allowed, unless something was done, so this person was somehow allowed to sneak in. But one woman stands up and says, "We support you, Harry," and he's suddenly ushered out of the courtroom. It's just the most ridiculous thing. Now, okay, I get that this happens, but the fact that this is just coincidentally around the time when he's saying, "Look, I feel scared. I cannot bring my wife and children over here." I really hope that the lawyers can just see through this farce, in my opinion, because it is. So then, of course, he's saying that he's also been forced out of the royal family. And I do wonder if this is why he has constantly stated that he's owed an apology, or Meghan's owed an apology. And I have spoken about this before because I said that I think that there was a collection of things that were starting to build. I think one of the biggest things was Meghan's behaviour. I think that the royal family was starting to really see through how difficult she was becoming, and the sort of and I would imagine, especially after the wedding, she was nigh on impossible, because once the narcissist has secured the person and they feel they're kind of safe within that they've secured, their behaviour will escalate. The only time it tends to not is when they're not quite sure whether they've secured the person or not, so they've got to keep the love bombing side of them going. There will be mask slips, but they will manipulate the situation, hence why when we go back to the bullying of the staff, it's like probably blaming the staff for a lot of things that were happening. So what I also think was collectively happening was, in my opinion, is what the truth is regarding the boy that they call Archie, but I suspect that he's not called Archie in real life. And again, this is just my opinion. So I believe that Meghan, of course, knows the truth. And I know that some people have said, but there's no way a narcissist would go along with this. Yes, of course they would, because there is no love there. She doesn't love Harry. She loves what Harry represents. She loves the money, the fame, the whatever it is that comes with being part of the royal family. She is not going to give that up. So she'll put up with whatever if it means that that's what she gets. So if Harry, like in my alleged opinion, has been unfaithful or done something and got somebody else pregnant, then she would absolutely go along with that. And in fact, she would act as if she's the supporting wife, because even though she would be very jealous, she would be determined not to let that person overshadow her. So there was no way she would give up what she's got for the sake of another woman and another child. And so she would come in as this, like, you know what, I will, yes, I will pretend to be pregnant. Because, and I know it's awful to say this, and I know that some people do not like me saying this, but I do think at a certain point the royal family knew. And it's either one of two things. They either knew later, but I don't know how Meghan or Harry have the power to, without the backing of the royal family, to go around pretending to be pregnant in the public eye and not have the media scrutinise it. So the fact that the media never said anything and she was there flashing this moon bump because she's just like, you know, I know, you know, and you can't say anything. And it's like a veiled threat to the royal family. And at times even wearing a moon bump that fell, that was squashed, it was just so obvious that she was not carrying at that point. So the way that I view this is that she knew what she knew and she went along with it. The royal family were protecting, and in my opinion, protecting the real mother, because at the end of the day, it's not her fault. And also because we know that Harry, there's some very severe rumours in regards to Harry's treatment of women. And so it's very possible that the way he alleged treated these women, that this could have been what he did with this woman. We don't know. So this is just alleged, in my opinion. So this is the way my brain thinks. So if that's playing out, she's going to go along with it and act as if she's this saint, because she's like, I am going along with this. It's not my fault. I didn't deserve any of this, but I'm just going to be the dutiful wife and I'm going to be okay with all of this. So this is why I feel that Harry has stated that Meghan is owed an apology, because in her mind, she's thinking, I supported Harry when he lied and he cheated. I did what was asked of me, where I went along with this and pretended. So I'm like the saint and I'm so amazing. Why was I removed? You know, and she will probably blame even her behaviour. She will say, my behaviour was like this because of what was going on. So why was I removed? Even though it was nothing to do with that. She's like that anyway. They would have started to see it before all this happened. And I know it's very convoluted, and I know it seems like a huge conspiracy theory, but it is the only thing that I can come up with that explains why they get away with what they do. So I don't believe that this whole thing is being forced out. I don't think that is the issue. And when we go to the fact that he's constantly going on that Meghan needs an apology or I need an apology, I think that comes down to the fact that Harry has always been protected by his family. And then when this situation happened, he believes he wasn't, that they let him down. But the truth of the matter is that this is all, in my opinion, Harry's making. I think Harry did do something, and I think Meghan went along with it because, as I've said, this is her golden goose. She's not going to want to give that up. And if you want more information on that, then please go across and check out my TNT channel. And I think she was removed and Harry was given a year to decide whether either he was going to stay with her and stay out of the royal family, or he was going to come back and there was either going to be a divorce or something was going to happen. And given how manipulative Meghan was, Harry was probably forced into, in his mind, to stay with her. And he believes that maybe the royal family should have done more to protect him. But I do think they did. I think they protected him in regards to the birth mother, because I think that there was stuff that was going on. And if you want me to go into more detail in that, I'm happy to do another video on that here and talk about that. But I do think that this is where the truth is. And I think it's IPP status he wants. This has nothing to do with security. He wants to be protected from people digging in and finding the truth. This is, in my opinion, nothing to do with security, because as I've said before, he was happy to go to Colombia and wander around. He's been happy to come over here multiple times and he's never had an issue. There was never any issue before Meghan. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. If you'd like to treat me to a cuppa, you can do. The link is in the description box below. Also, my PO box and my email address if you want to contact me and to ask me anything. Please bear with me because I am inundated with emails and I do try to get to all of you, but I do miss some of you and I'm really sorry about that. Please don't forget to subscribe if you want to join this little community we're building here, and also go across and subscribe to TNT because it does help the algorithm. Also, don't forget to like the video because, again, it does help the algorithm. Yeah, so that's it. So I hope you have a wonderful week, whatever you're doing. And as always, I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye.